Welcome to Politics Done Right on KPFT. I am your host, Egberto Williams. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Give me a call at 713-526-5738. That is 713-526-KPFT. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Williams. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Williams, your host again. I am honored to have your ears for the next hour. Thank you very much for being with me. Señorita Shannon McErchie, ¿qué pasó?
I am very good.
You were learning to speak Spanish. Así que lo estás haciendo muy bien.
Well, I understand it. It's forcing me to practice it more. I mean, I had to learn before I went to Spain, and it's not quite the same, you know?
But you know,
when
they
it
say,
localized versus...
we say carro here. They say coche. So what can I say? Anyhow.
But I am eager to learn.
Yes, I know. But you know, we're going to have a great show. But I want to preface this show and say, folks, do remember that we like to hear all opinions out here. So don't get too much in a tizzy about the show today. And instead, don't get in a tizzy. What we want you to do is to call in and say your piece. So, you know, folks, Bernie Sanders, he seems to be getting fed up with playing nice for party unity. Don't you think so?
He finally struck back a little bit.
I know. Democrats have been led to believe that Sanders was just a left-wing incarnation of a wish list, while Hillary Clinton was the experienced one who knows how to get things done. Moreover, the spin is that there was just minor differences between the two, and that Hillary Clinton, as the electable one, would have no problems getting the Sanders vote. The problem is that Bernie Sanders started to do what? Win. Uh-oh. We will discuss whether this means an implosion of the Democratic Party as well. I think, Shannon, you think it's just a little tizzy?
I don't think it's any big blowout, anything like what we've seen on the Republican side. I think it's finally, it's just gaining a little momentum, putting a little fight in them.
Yeah, you said that in the video there, and I was glad to hear that because, like I said, the people that I'm most concerned about are the folks around your age, whether you're going to have the passion to go out there and vote, and just knowing that it's going to be there, listening to somebody like you saying, it's just a little tizzy, I'm going to go out and vote no matter what. I think that is what's important. So
yeah, I don't find it, I think they still respect each other quite a bit. But of course you have to showcase your differences and showcase what you don't agree with about the other particular candidate. I
think we need to learn to do that. I think we need to learn that that talking about legitimate differences doesn't mean that you can't be darn good friends, and not only that you can't be darn good friends, that you have to be at each other's throat. And I think a lot of the people in our society, mainly the leaders, they want us to be at each other's throats. I don't agree with a whole lot of things, but I can still sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody I don't agree with, which I think it's important. So I think that is where one of the things I like us to do in this show, Shannon, is to kind of promote that kind of dialogue. You can have your strong opinions, but ultimately, do you really think Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders care about Shannon or Egberto? No. They care about people in general, but we can't be at a tizzy because you understand what I'm saying.
Of course. And this kind of format is here so that we can showcase all opinions.
Absolutely.
Bring in and have the conversation.
Absolutely. But anyhow, folks, I have a few announcements. The Lone Star College Center for Civic Engagement is proud to present the first annual Lone Star Book Festival. Nationally and internationally known authors will come to LSC, that's Lone Star College in Kingwood, to speak to audiences about their ideas, meet the attendees, and sign copies of their work. With over 100 authors attending, the Lone Star Book Festival promises to be an exciting cultural event. So, folks, Look, I know the leaders who are the professors and the leaders and the center that put this stuff together. Show up. Be a part of it. It's going to be a great book club out there. I know we have a lot. Houston is a very intelligent city. Houston is a reading city. Go out there. I mean, the Lone Star Book Festival is free and open to the public and takes place in Kingwood, Texas at Lone Star College in the Kingwood campus. The 2016 festival will take place on April 8th and 9th. That is Friday and Saturday this week. And if you require assistance, there will be disability services as well. If you go to politicsdoneright.com and look up at this show, you can see all the information about what it's all about and how to get information about this. So please do that. politicsdoneright.com. Go ahead and be a part of the community. This is going to be a great book event. Also, before I start the program, I want to remind people that KPFT is a bastion of intelligent voices and programs. As a political activist myself, I love the following programs. And there's one that I want to start adding called the Progressive Forum.
Yes.
I've been meaning to add this on here. I listen to them all the time, and for some reason I don't have it here. So folks, remember the Progressive Forum as well.
Yeah, Thursdays at 7 to 9.
Thursdays at 7 till 9. Great show. Absolutely great show. We also have The Monitor with Mark Bebawi on Mondays at 7 p.m. Great show. Think Wing Radio with Mike Honig on Mondays at 9 p.m. Another great show. Mike is a different kind of thinker. Partisan Grindlock with Jeff Berg on Fridays at 3 p.m. And you know, this is to my heart. Yo soy panameño Latino, jazz Latino, Afro-Cuban Latin jazz at the very best, and it's hosted by who? Juan
Flores.
Juan Flores on Mondays at 10 p.m. Great show. And you know, Juan actually does the show as well on HD3 here between noon and 2. Remember that. He has 2 shows. Juan, how did you do that? You have 2 shows. You only got 1.
Well, he's a powerhouse.
He can keep it going. Anyhow, folks, check out our schedule at kpft.org, where you can find programming from music to politics to medicine to the eclectic. KPFT's listener-supported public community radio station. So please remember that if you want to hear good stuff, please, folks, go to kpft.org. Keep us on air. It is our duty to keep the message going. So we want to hear from you, kpft.org. The more that you continue to put your little things in there at this time, the shorter we can have those drives that we have to have. So again, go to kpft.org, be a part of the solution. We complain a whole lot. Let's do something about it. Let's keep these shows going. I named you some great shows, and there are a whole lot of other shows. I mean, Shannon could tell you a million different shows that are great at this station. So please go ahead, kpft.org, and you can find some. Any one of them you want to recommend before I go to the vlog of the week?
Oh, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I really, really love the show that we come right behind.
Oh, Generation Radio.
God.
Is that a great show or what?
It pumps me up. It gets me ready for my Thursday.
I know. It gets the blood pumping, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's definitely something. If I was having a house party, that's the music I would play.
Absolutely. Well, you know what I had to tell you? I play that kind of music.
All right.
Anyhow, what time is it, Shannon?
It's time for the weekly blog post.
Okay, folks. As you know, Shannon and I started talking earlier today about this kind of mashup that you had with Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I have a certain take about it. Hillary Clinton supporters, I think a lot of times you notice that I may have a Bernie bias. That is fine. Let me just tell, all of us have our biases, and you know, so what we do about it is whether we're honest or not. I want to hear from all callers. I want to hear from all sides, including from the Republican side, if you have any interface that you want to add to the discourse as well. One of the reasons a lot of times personally here, I am sort of partial to putting out information about Bernie's. I think that the media in general does not give proper justice, proper coverage to all the candidates as they should. And as such, I think independent media, other medias need to be that place where you can actually get an even playing field. So here we go. Today I wrote a blog post. I already got into some trouble. I got some tough emails about it, but I don't think it was all that bad. And I think I cleaned most of it up with the people that complained. But here it goes. Will the Democratic primary implode like the Republican primary? And it goes as follows. It was bound to happen in as much as the 2 major candidates left the Democratic Party primaries were given the semblance of being nice to each other, it had to come to a boil. Many claim that the differences between the policies of Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are minimal. As such, coalescing to the only outcome would be a foregone conclusion. If Bernie Sanders play nice, that would be the case. The delegate math of Bernie Sanders is next to impossible, barring a Hillary Clinton implosion or the materialization of the political revolution Sanders is attempting. Will Sanders' recent wins including the near record turnout in Wisconsin may be giving him hope that the spark is about to hit gasoline-soaked hay. The Democratic race was supposed to be a formality. Bernie Sanders was supposed to be an unelectable Democratic socialist with enough of a following to keep things interesting. He was supposed to split the vote of other Democrats who dared to run to protect the candidate real Democrats wanted to coalesce around. He accomplished the latter. The problem is that one never knows at what point a stressed electorate will throw conventional wisdom to the wind. Is the American electorate at a tipping point? It is clear that Republicans have already tipped. The reality is that they went over the cliff with the election of President Barack Obama. The personnel they send to federal and state Congresses prove it. Their two front runners prove it. Anyone who believes the Republican establishment can rein in the horses has not engaged their grassroots. It is easy to see why the Democratic establishment thought that even a flawed candidate could easily win, and history could be made. The Democrats could elect America's first woman. The status quo is not as formidable as it used to be. Fewer people scare from propaganda. The traditional mainstream media is no longer believed by a plurality. While money in politics is still important, both Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump redefined its sources. Trump proved the fungibility of money as he used the media to get $2 billion of free coverage. Sanders proved with his record-breaking crowdsourcing that message and sincerity have value. Hillary Clinton has to be wondering if her party will tip, in this case, to the proper side, as the Republican Party did. From a probability standpoint, it is unlikely. From a mathematical point of view, it is still possible. Clinton sharpened the scalpel. She decided she could no longer treat Bernie Sanders with kid gloves. It had to be death by a million cuts. While Bernie Sanders hammers her for her chumminess with the wealthy wondering to whom her allegiance would be, she inferred he was unqualified for the presidency. She questioned his allegiance to the party. This week, Sanders decided to take it no more, and he responded harshly. He said aloud what many believe he felt all along, but was not willing to say for the sake of party unity. That's how it goes. This is what he said. She has been saying lately that she thinks that I am not qualified to be president, Sanders said at the recent rally. Well, let me just say in response to Secretary Clinton, I don't believe she is qualified if she is, through her super PAC, taking tens of millions of dollars in special interest funds. I don't think that you are qualified if you get $15 million from Wall Street through your super PAC. Sanders included trade agreements and her support for the war in Iraq and much other issues as well. These are things that he had said before. It is the tonality that is different. Both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders want to win. Sanders genuinely believes he can win. Moreover, he believes he needs to win. The conviction is palpable. It is the closest he has been to the type of government he wants. He can taste it, and he believes Americans may be freeing themselves to do so as well. After all, many believe they have nothing to lose. While Democrats have been basking in the civil war occurring in the Republican Party, they should have been looking in the mirror. Here's the reality. There is not a whole lot of difference between ideologues on the right. Even their outcast Donald Trump has acquiesced to their most draconian tenets. The difference between the establishment Democrats and the ideological Democrats is a wide gulf connected by a thin sheet of ice. It seems like that sheet is cracking and about to break. It would be ironic if Trump is the one that reached the magic number and Democrats are the ones with a contested convention. What do you think, folks? What do you think? I had a typo in the top of this blog that I got to fix rather quickly before it goes on the site. But anyhow, folks, the telephone number, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. And we have line 1. Let's go to Senor Scott. Come on in, Scott.
Thank you. Would you believe that I have not donated a cent in this presidential primary?
You have not?
No.
Okay.
For one thing, I donated $1,000 in the Hero campaign last fall.
Wow, that's wonderful.
That's not, I don't have an infinite amount of money. And I'm not all that fired up about this primary. I am concerned about the harm that Republicans can do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are concerned about the harm that can come about.
As for populist revolution, I think that's premature, and actually I'm fairly satisfied with my economic situation. Mm-hmm. And I would be a little worried if could Sanders raise my taxes. I don't usually pay income taxes. I don't make enough money, but is he going to change the brackets to where I do? Do I really need to be so public spirited as to want to pay more taxes?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel? First of all,
pardon?
How do you feel about your responsibility to society at large, the entire society at large?
Well, I am active in politics.
Uh-huh.
But I think the needs of society depend on who's talking, really. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the Medici or Savonarola. Savonarola? Right. Yeah. In other words, I believe there are conflicting interests. I think it's a little often naive to talk about the needs of society as though everybody wants or needs the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't think everybody needs or wants the same thing at all.
Opponents of gay marriage believe that they know the public interest. I have a different idea about the public interest, or I am even willing to say gay marriage is a private interest.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm absolutely with you as far as gay marriage is a private interest. As far as how public society must force each individual to be, my contention is that the first time that you go out there and you don't have roads, or the first time that you go out there and you have a police system that doesn't work, or the first time you go out there
I agree with that.
With a fire system that doesn't work, and then there are intrinsics that a lot of people don't realize, right? They look and they say, well, I don't want to pay for XYZ, but I understand that I need fire, I understand that I need police, and they don't realize, like, okay, well, if we had invested in people, we wouldn't have to have as large a police force, or if we had invested in these types of regulations, we would not have had to have this done. So what I'm really trying to say is, generally speaking, a lot of people are sometimes more short-sighted that it's good for them. And I think good leaders, the purpose of good leaders, we had two journalists here from Scandinavia, and one of the great things that they said is that to them, because they're used to it, yeah, they're paying higher taxes, but they feel that they're getting their money's worth. Right now, I pay fairly high taxes, but I also pay fairly very, very high medical expenses. I had a little scare, and that little scare is going to cost me $5,000 out of pocket, in as much as I had supposedly very good insurance, in as much as I pay a whole lot of taxes. Now, I feel that our system really doesn't reward people, the population at large. I actually think that our system is geared to transfer money up the ladder. And when I say that, it's not just my statement. If you take a look at the numbers, our system transfers money, the money of the masses to the few. And the only way to mitigate that, in my opinion, and I think it's mathematically sound, is for some sort of redistribution, which is generally a hard thing for people to hear because we've been programmed to believe that redistribution is wrong. My contention is redistribution is the only savior of capitalism. But Scott, go ahead.
The thing that bothers me about Sanders is that he's proposing what seems like a massive increase in government spending.
The reality is, let me ask you one thing. Is your health care considered government spending? Your health, not you because you're in Social Security and Medicare.
I am on Medicare.
Right, but let's say anybody under 60, whatever it is for Medicare.
Okay, I would like to see Medicare extended to everybody.
Right.
Yeah. John Conyers sponsors a bill in
HR
Congress
676.
to do that.
Yeah.
Sheila Jackson-Lee is a co-sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
HR 676.
Yes. You're correct. Let me tell you something, Scott. I don't think when I hear somebody like yourself and I hear many other people, I really don't think there are differences as long as people know exactly what they're getting, what they're paying for, and to know that nobody's taking advantage of them. Scott, my lines are full, so I really have to go. It was a pleasure speaking to you, my friend. Let's go to line number 2. John, come on in, John.
Hey, Berger, how you doing?
How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I am wonderful. Hey, let's face it, you guys have the same problem on the Democratic side as we do on the Republican side, though I think worse, to be quite honest with you.
You think it's worse?
I do.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, let's face it, the game is rigged for Clinton.
Yes, it is.
This was supposed to be a coronation, not a nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not disparaging the Democrats.
No.
That's
John, you don't have to go there with me. You know we're pretty open here, so let me have it.
Yeah, but you understand that's how it is. The fact that he's giving her a run for her money at all,
right?
Is the same thing that we face with the Republican Party that I can't stand.
Right.
You know, the party elite saying that the candidates are actually the party's choice after all. Once you get past the first ballot. The problem is both parties have been hijacked. And I know there are people at your station who have other shows who are big Hillary supporters, but let's face it, she's as corrupt a politician on your side as we've had on ours.
I'm not going to be as harsh, right? Let me tell you why I'm saying I'm not going to be as harsh, because I think, right here I want to be protective of Hillary, and let me tell you in what regards I mean. Men have been doing this sort of shenanigans for a long time. When Hillary Clinton said, if you're going to call me this and not have done that to President Obama when he was running, then it's sort of you really see a gender complexity right there. So look, let me be frank. I personally don't want any politician that is owned by Wall Street, that is owned by the plutocracy, that is owned by all these things. But I will not judge Hillary any harsher than I will judge President Obama, than I would judge Ronald Reagan or any one of these who all were a part of the game. So first of all, you're right. They're all corrupt. But to make it as if it's a Hillary thing, I cannot buy that.
No, and you didn't let me finish, because I was about to start throwing names on our side.
Okay.
I was about to throw the Fainers, the Ryans, and everybody else in there as well. Look, I think both parties are tired of it.
Yeah.
I really think we are. This is the year of the insurgent. Unfortunately, the game by the parties has been rigged against the insurgent.
And you know what? But here's the thing, John, and I honestly think there is a possibility, maybe not this time, but I think it's approaching, right? It could be this time. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen at your convention in, where is it, Cleveland? Of your convention.
Yeah, Cleveland.
I don't know what's going to happen at your convention in Cleveland, but it could be explosive. And notice how I ended the blog that I wrote today. Now I'm not so very sure what's going to happen at the Democratic convention because, like you said, people are fed up. And people, you can actually lose control. And what I see is there's a possibility of these parties losing control. Do you realize that Hillary had the entire team in Wisconsin on her side? The entire team and Hillary lost by 13 point something points. That says something. They're not talking about it on TV because also the news channels are owned. What I try to explain to the person who wrote me a nasty email about the blog I wrote is they said I'm biased towards Bernie. Unfortunately, they're right, but I said I'm biased for a particular reason. We're not hearing the whole story elsewhere, and I think one of my responsibilities is to give the whole story as well.
That is correct, and I agree with you. So I don't know where any of this is going.
I don't either.
This is what I say both parties have to fear, though. Let's again be honest.
Yes.
It's the dissatisfaction between us, the mainstream voters on both sides.
Uh-huh.
Whoever takes their ball and goes home and stays home next year, the down ballot races are going to be incredibly ugly.
Oh, my God. You are so right, John. You are absolutely right. And you know what I'm going to tell you, John, because Shannon is looking at me. She said it's to go by. Okay. What's going to be important, John, is for us to do our job because we can't let that happen. Because you're absolutely right. We can't let that happen.
Nope. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
You have a wonderful day, my friend, okay? And keep calling, keep listening, buddy. Take care. Okay, let's go to Shannon. Shannon is going to do her thing.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. And let's take a brief look at traffic around town. On the West Loop northbound at Hempstead, there's an accident affecting the center and right lanes, backing up traffic to Evergreen. And there's a disabled vehicle on the West Park Tollway inbound, blocking the Gessner exit ramp. Also, a little bit on down the road on the Southwest Freeway, there's a stalled vehicle inbound, blocking the exit ramp onto the West Loop. Slow going on the Gulf Freeway inbound from Monroe to the South Loop and from Telephone to downtown. And it is currently a pleasant and warm 88 degrees and partly cloudy skies will persist through tonight, low of 56 degrees. Partly to mostly cloudy skies Friday, high of 83 degrees. That's a look at your Houston area weather and traffic. I'm Shannon McCurdy, and you are listening to Politics Done right here on KPFT Houston 90.1. Back to you, Egberto.
Muchísimas gracias. Let's go to line number 3. That is Michael, and we have 6 ringing. Yeah, go ahead, Michael. How you doing, my friend?
Good, sir. How are you today?
All right, talk to me, sir.
I have a couple of things. Interested things you said in your blog. Mm-hmm. I don't think personally the Democratic Party is going to go through an implosion like the Republican Party has the potential to do, or most likely will do. I think that some of your callers have kind of hit the nail right on the head. This is a political season of just incredible change that's going to happen. For the first time, we have an electorate in the United States that's willing to consider democratic socialism.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. And I think it has to be, looked at by us as voters being sick and tired of what politicians have done to the middle class in this country. I'm kind of in a bad position because I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. I'm a Hillary Clinton supporter. I'm also a Democratic Party supporter above anything.
Right.
And I think that Bernie Sanders numerically may not be able to broker a nomination for the top spot in the Democratic Party.
Right.
But I think he's doing a tremendous amount of good as far as affecting real change in the Democratic Party. The Republican Party has screwed themselves so hard for so long, and now they're all sitting in these closed offices trying to figure out what the hell to do. Right. And they have no clue. They have no clue, Egberto.
I don't think any of us, let me tell you, usually, all by this time in elections, I'm calling things and I'm saying, I think this is going to happen and all of that. And usually, you get things right. Now, people ask me, the people sometimes we're talking on Facebook or chat or whatever, and what is going to happen? I've got to be honest. I haven't got a clue, Michael.
Yeah, no. It's the funny thing is, this is extremely scary.
Yes, it is.
Personally, for me, because Bernie Sanders resonates with so many huge key issues, voter reform, or the way we approach super PAC money. The Supreme Court may have legally made a correct decision, but they made the wrong decision for the country, for all of us, when they allowed super PACs to go unvetted with just about anything they want. It's absolutely insane. There has to be a change, a massive change, and we're the only ones that can actually help affect that. And we all have to get off our behinds and go vote. And we have to do it from an intelligent perspective.
Michael,
we've got to fix that, man.
Michael, you're absolutely right, and I'm gonna cut you right there and frame that and look, I'm going to frame that one because exactly right. We all have to go out there and vote. Thank you for the call, sir.
Thank you for your time.
You have a wonderful day. Okay, let's go to line 4 for John in San Antonio, mi hermano. Come on in, John.
Good afternoon, Alberto.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. First of all, I want to just reply directly to your comment. I don't think this is an implosion at all. Mm-hmm. I did call into Sam Cedars' show a couple hours ago, and we talked about this subject. And he brought up an interesting point. Here's a quote from March 3rd, 2008, Hillary Clinton. I have a lifetime of experience that I will bring to the White House. I know Senator McCain has a lifetime of experience that he'll bring to the White House. Senator Obama has a speech that he gave in 2012.
I remember that. I remember when she said that.
Okay, so he also played a clip of Rachel Maddow on Keith Olbermann's show, saying basically, this is something that you would say if you want to be McCain's VP. So, this is a mistake that Sanders made. He should walk it back and start focusing more on the issues. I mean, the press is just gonna continually bring this up. I mean, it's the top story everywhere you look at. And, and the fact is that Clinton's already kind of dismissing the story. She's already saying that she'll vote for Senator Sanders over any Republican candidate. So I hope Bernie does the same. I think he just got overly emotional.
Well, let me just say one thing, John, to interrupt one little second here. What happens is that was sort of a last straw for him, because there's a whole lot of undercurrents that's not on TV and I think I mentioned that to the email that I responded to the person. There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that you don't see on TV, nor that it comes from Hillary Clinton that he was concerned about. And I think one of the reactions that he did there was with the expectation that by him sort of overreacting the way he did, that they would see that he was going to go there. In other words, if you come at me, I will be coming at you. And I actually think you're right. I think he's going to walk it back in the long run, in the short term, actually.
Yeah, another thing is just about the caller that Scott. He's a real good guy. I like him a lot. But as far as the taxes, I mean, this is something that we have to get over as a country. We cannot keep these Reagan, trickle-down tax rates if we're going to have a country that really supports education for college students, it supports health care for everybody. People have to pay more taxes. I mean, every year I usually pay 4 figures. This year I'm paying 5 figures, and I just... to me, I just know that's part of society.
And you know what?
I've had a good year. I have the money. I'm going to pay it. Right. And that's the first time I had a 4-figure tax, payment. I was like all concerned. But then I realized all you're doing is repeating everything that's been told to you your whole life. Exactly. You have to think about how this is, and there's a lot of things that I don't want my tax money to go to, but I mean that's just the way of society. If we have better politicians, our money will be going to things that will benefit more people, people who really need it, people who need health care, people who need education, people in poverty.
Absolutely.
That's where the money should go.
Now, I think it is our job, though, that you understand it, and you understand how the money. If you preach that government is bad, and taxes are going to the government, then you understand why people feel the way they feel. What we have to be doing continuously, consistently, is pointing out the things that their monies are used for. That's where it comes. Why you notice when you have construction projects that are it used to be when we had a lot of construction projects, they'll all say this is financed by XYZ or this is put out by XY. There's a reason they do that so that people could see where their monies are actually going. We kind of stop. I don't want to say we kind of stop that, but we don't make that quite obvious anymore. Mostly because of the administrations that we have in these states. These states don't want people to ever believe that government is doing good, that government is there doing good things for them. So what we have to do is point out the things that you want to say something, Shannon?
Well, I was thinking more about the way in which that Supreme Court here ruling made it where, where the entities are people as well, corporations. So,
right.
And also the creation of super PACs and how that's legal. So that all made it where, how can we find out where the money's coming from?
And actually, that is a very important point. And, if you notice, in MoveToAmend.org, folks, MoveToAmend.org is one organization that is actually working on that issue as far as getting money out of politics and doing away with things like super PACs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's an important point. To John's point on taxes, we all have to have these subjects at hand, because you know what you just said when you spoke about the money in politics, Shannon. A lot of people, to them, that means nothing. We have to start making that mean something.
Well, when you see how contaminating corporate interests really can be,
right?
Then you can see how much can you not know that's really going on.
Exactly. And to John's point, we have to make taxes what they really are and not the caricature that's been made of them. John, anything else you want to say quickly before I put you on hold?
No, I just want to repeat that I think this will hopefully blow over, and we'll get back on the issues. The issues are what's important. The working class needs help, and I hope we start focusing on that.
The only way it's gonna, when it's gonna blow over, when they take a poll, when Hillary Clinton's people take a poll, if they feel that it is damaging Bernie, they'll find a way, not her, because what I'm saying is Bernie wasn't necessarily responding to only Hillary when he responded. He was responding to a whole lot of stuff that was happening on the back end, a lot of stuff that people actually don't see. But John, I'm going to put you on hold, and let's go to line number 5. Let's go to Rick. Come on in, Rick.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. How about yourself?
All right. Talk to me, my friend.
I just wanted to weigh in on a couple of things that I guess have been discussed on today's show so far.
Yes, sir.
Where the first thing that I really want to weigh into is how Hillary's and Bernie's policies aren't that different. That really is very untrue. Bernie is vastly more progressive than Hillary is, and we've seen it by Hillary's flip-flops as Bernie Sanders started gaining momentum. Bernie Sanders brought up, the TPP killed jobs. Hillary Clinton used to support the TPP. Now suddenly, yes, I hate the TPP too. Same thing with fracking. Bernie Sanders says fracking is killing our environment. Hillary Clinton used to basically sell fracking to the world. Now she's like, maybe it is bad. We also see it with her flip-flop on minimum wage. Bernie's fighting for 15. Hillary's like, raising minimum wage is good, but let's only go to 12. Let's be reasonable, people. And there's so many more. She is completely flip-flopped on so many policies that I really can't see her as a true progressive, and that's one of the reasons why I will never vote Hillary, and if Hillary wins the nomination, I'm writing Mickey Mouse in on my ballot.
Okay, well, let me qualify that first. I'm going to tell folks, first of all, I'm not supposed to say how I'm going to vote or anything like that, but I'm going to say one thing to all the people listening out here, because we have a few people here that have said similar things before. And what I tell people like you, Rick, is, first of all, if Hillary were my candidate, if Bernie were my candidate and Hillary won, and if I were a Democrat, I would be voting for Hillary. And let me tell you why I'm saying that. And it's basically simple. There's a vast difference between Bernie and Hillary. That's an absolute true statement that you said there. It's huge. But we kind of play it down because she will want the Bernie supporters. So you play those differences down. The party play those differences down. Democratic socialism is much better for the middle class than anything my good friend Barack Obama or my good friend Hillary Clinton has to offer. And mathematically speaking, as done by the professor from UMass, proves from a mathematical standpoint, anybody who took Economics 101 knows the circulation of money occurs much better when it goes to the lower classes and the upper classes, period. That's a fact. They don't want to talk about that because what it means is people with more money get more educated. There's a whole lot of stuff that we are trying to fight against here. It's not only about money. It's also about having an educated populace because an educated populace wants more. But secondly, that said, if Hillary is the choice between Hillary and somebody else, I may be able to survive an administration that is bad, but I can't just look out for me. I have to look out because, yes, we could say let's make people suffer hard enough that never again will they choose somebody like XYZ. The problem here is this, Rick. There are too many people suffering right now. And I rather, in as much as I am not an incrementalist, I'm more somebody who wants a hell of a lot done. I understand that incrementalism for some people is better than nothing. So what I always tell people like yourself, you fight like hell during the primaries. You try to convince people, you try to educate people, and you try to bring people of your mode that you know want the best for society. But ultimately, and it's as cliche as it might sound, you always vote for the lesser of two evils. Always, in my opinion. And the reason why is you don't only care about what you can sustain, but you care about your fellow man. And caring about your fellow man means that you are not going to allow others to be hurt because you want to make a point. That's my take. Okay.
I completely understand. And that does give me a bit to think about. But there is one other thing that I wanted to weigh in real quick.
Yes, sir. Come on in.
Scott had mentioned earlier about candidate raising or changing the tax brackets where we pay more.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if you remember, I called in at the tail end of one show a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And provided some quick mathematics on Bernie Sanders'
yes, I think I remember who you are. Yes, sir.
Yep. And anybody making under $250,000 a year, their bracket isn't going to change.
Right.
So if you're making more than $250,000 a year, then I can understand being a little bit concerned with Bernie Sanders. But somebody on Social Security, your tax bracket is not going to change at all. And if he's not making any income, if he's not working and he's only off of Social Security, then absolutely nothing is going to change. If he is working, his taxes are going to go up by 2.2%. That's not that much overall. And for the majority of workers out there, yes, taxes are going to go up 2.2%, but that means you also no longer have to pay your premium, which
is huge.
For middle class people who work make between $50,000 to $60,000. They could be paying upwards of $6,000 or more in medical premiums alone. Not to mention saving on co-pays, out-of-pocket expenses, no lifetime limits.
Rick, I need you to do me a favor. Rick, I need you to do me a favor because all the lines are filled up and I need to release you. I need to ask you to do one thing. That is some good information that you just gave to the show. Go to our Facebook page and throw some information out there and tell people how they can get what you just told us here on air, okay?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, Rick. You have a wonderful day, my friend.
You too, sir.
Now, let's go to Chad, line number 1. Chad, come on in, my friend. Talk to me, Chad. Talk to me.
Hey, I just wanted to comment on the call about 5 calls ago, the objective, rational Republican that called in.
Yes, sir. A good man.
You mentioned, I wish more of them would call. It makes the show more interesting.
Yeah, we get quite a few. We get a lot of Republican calls. They don't say they're Republican.
Well, he raised a great point, but you had a response of... you used the phrase gender complexities.
Right.
In that, she's being criticized for this because of her gender.
No, I think...
Well, rather, others are being ignored because they're males. But see, you're falling into a rhetorical trap because in the debates before the Southern primaries, her attack line was, Bernie, you criticized Obama, how dare you?
Right.
And now her attack line is, how dare you accuse me when you didn't accuse, or how dare you criticize me when you didn't criticize Obama
Chad,
for the same thing? So
Chad,
you're
right.
You know?
Chad, you're right, but I am not speaking from the point of view of Hillary Clinton. I'm speaking from the point of view of us. In other words, when I listen to Hillary, when I listen to Bernie, I'm listening to politics. I'm talking about us, how we interpret things and how we describe things. And what I was trying to say is that the way we describe things with different people, sometimes there is a gender component. And as a true liberal, left-wing progressive, one of the things that I think we ought to always be careful of is not, and that's the reason I said in that case I wanted to be a defender of Hillary Clinton, because I don't want us to get into that trap. And I understand what you're saying.
Your logic, though, because corruption doesn't have a party. Corruption doesn't have a gender.
You're correct.
And Bernie has, criticized the situation that Obama has been operating in the past 8 years. That's how you play the game.
No, you're Chad. Remember, we're not disagreeing, Chad. Please hear what I'm saying.
I'm trying to understand your context of that.
Yeah,
because what you're saying is we shouldn't treat her equally. We should treat her specially.
No,
and
I am saying
her from that criticism because of her gender. Then how could she be a strong president when she needs special treatment?
No, I'm not saying that.
A common everyday national issue. That
thank you for telling me that
election.
Thanks for telling me I wasn't clear in what I was stating, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in fact, I want her to be treated equally. And in my opinion, what I have found is that there are things that Hillary gets attacked on, including her association with big money, that others don't quite get attacked on. Now, Bernie does it. I'm not disagreeing with you there. You're correct. Bernie does it. But there's a whole lot of the media that there's a good story out today how Paul Ryan did certain things, but the Democratic Socialists didn't get the same kind of critique. So those are the things that I'm talking about. So I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying, we should give her the same treatment, no better, no worse. And what I'm saying is there are times that I find that there is a component where she gets worse treatment than she should. And that I'm not a defender of her.
I don't know. I mean, her husband, Bill Clinton, got worse treatment than she's ever gotten. I mean, they went after him with torches and pitchforks. But my final question is, how can I explain to someone that Hillary is not corrupt?
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah. So, I can't vote. I have to vote my conscience. Republicans are going to win Texas anyways in the general election. They're going to win the electoral votes. I can't live with myself voting for someone who I know deep down is
Chad,
a sellout, is corrupt, is manipulative,
Chad,
is deceptive. So,
for Texans, right? For Texans, assuming that state was going to make no difference whatsoever, voting your conscience doesn't hurt the country as a whole, other than if you mess with the down ballot, okay?
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is, I think, but my conscience, my fellow man, or the survival of my fellow man is worth a hell of a lot more than my conscience. That's all I have to say. In other words, if I see something that can save you, and I say, well, my conscience prevent me from doing that which would save you, to hell with my conscience, I'm saving you. You have a great day, my friend. I got to go to the other call. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, let's go to number 6. That is William. Come on in, William.
Hey, hello, Egberto.
Talk to me, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up, they went after Bill Clinton so hard, and he got him to stop by getting a friend to go to the Justice Department and pull out the Republicans did. And that's the only thing nobody can talk about, which happens to be what I talk about.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. And
the Republicans never arrest anybody for organized crime. If you've read any of the people that, the mafia people that wrote books that spent half their life in prison, they couldn't wait for Nixon to get elected.
I hear you. You got that. I hear you, William.
It's a joke. I mean, and the thing that's amazing is, see, the Democrats won't put this stuff up, because what I think, if Bernie gets elected, they're going to have another 9/11 event, and the military is going to, say we need what's that word, martial law, because these Republicans are insane, and they know they can't win the election. They can't win the election on the up and up. So they're either going to do it with, with the supercomputer.
Okay, William,
the election,
I'm almost out of...
Everybody, there's got to be a way to where you can register your vote.
Okay, William, I'm out of time.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, my brother. You have a great one. Okay?
Every single one of us. I don't do computers, so I need to be able to register my vote with some place that's going to count my vote.
Yes, sir. I got to go, William. Thank you very much. And you have a wonderful day. Let's go to line number...
Break.
Oh, let's go to a break, and then I'll go to Bruce on line 2.
All right, thank you very much, Egberto. On the Southwest Freeway inbound at Dunleavy, an accident is affecting the left lane, backing up traffic to Westland. And on the North Loop westbound at Irvington, an accident is affecting the 3 frontage lanes in that area. And on the West Loop northbound, that earlier accident has been cleared at Hempstead. Traffic is backed up from Evergreen all the way up to Irvington. You're slow going on the Gulf Freeway inbound from Monroe to the South Loop and from around Telephone to Cavalcade. And let's take a brief look at weather around town. It is currently a beautiful day. Pleasant weather at 88 degrees. Partly cloudy skies will persist through tomorrow. Low of 56 degrees tonight, and tomorrow's high will be 83 degrees. That's a look at your Houston area weather and traffic. Back to you, Egberto, right here on KPFT Houston 90.1.
Muchísimas gracias, and let's go to número 2 for Bruce. 2. Here you go, Bruce. How you doing, my friend?
How are you? I've got 2 points. I'll be brief and quick.
Yes,
First,
sir.
the comment you made the other day that made so much sense. I already knew it. I just want to. You're a very smart man. It doesn't matter the personality; it's the policy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if the plumber or the electrician comes to your house, fix my pipe, fix my wiring. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Who the person is. You're spot on that.
Thank you, sir.
The other point, the people that will not support Hillary, another man just commented, we are a blue state. We elected George Bush. We continually elected, not we, I said we as a state, not me.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Perry for, but
many years.
The Republicans will take Texas, and anybody that doesn't want to vote for Hillary, just write in Bernie Sanders. He'll write in Mickey Mouse.
You know what? I think
go ahead and take the trouble, and that's what I'm going to do.
I think when he used the Mickey Mouse, he was just kidding. But look, thank you, Bruce.
I know, but I'm saying if you want to make a statement, write in Bernie Sanders.
Right.
And don't let the down ballot progressives suffer. Don't stay home. You still got to go.
Absolutely. And I think that is a very important thing that you just said there. We have to remember there is a down ballot, and you have to be engaged. Thank you very much for your call, my friend.
Thank you for your work.
You have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to number 3. Rick, come on in, Rick.
Buenos días, mi amigo.
¿Cómo estás, amigo? ¿Cómo estás haciendo?
Muy bien, gracias.
Talk to me.
I'll tell you what. I want to back up what you just said about, voting for the lesser of two evils. I agree with you 100%. I wish more people would see it that way, because we cannot continue with the establishment the way it is. Okay, and if the lesser of two evils is the establishment, at least it's better than what the other part is. And we have this. Bernie has started this populist movement. All right, and it's already started. Now, if Bernie doesn't make president, he won't be able to run again. He's getting up in age, but at least he started the flame. Okay, it's a small flame, and I think people like Elizabeth Warren and the young lady that gave up the DNC vice chair position because she supports Bernie, that those people and the millennials that realize that there's not a future for them are the ones that are going to help us take it to the next level. But the fire is started.
I think you're absolutely right, Rick. Now, I'm going to say one thing that I hope, and it's not only about us, right? It's about you too, right?
Right.
You have to go out there and actually get people to see things that way. Let me tell you, I'm very positive, okay? I actually know that when the time comes, most of the people, we will be able to talk to those people to have them vote appropriately. But look, it's a pleasure having you call in, Rick. Keep listening, keep calling, tell folks about us, and also tell folks to keep us on air. Go to kpft.org, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you, my friend. You have a great day, buddy. Senor, how is our good general manager doing here today?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here with you.
Now, tell me what you think about the little flag that went on earlier yesterday, actually.
Which one?
With Bernie and Hillary. Do you think it's as bad as people think it is?
No, I think ultimately it's a little bit sad that politics is of such a nature that it will, at some point, almost of necessity, devolve to that level.
I know.
I mean, I was hoping that the Democrats could model some behavior that we could all grow toward.
Don't you think that's wishful thinking?
It is. I'm very wishful. That's why I'm at KPFT, and aren't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm at KPFT. I have a lot of hope that we are going to actually get things done. But you know what, Dwayne? I think we have about 3 minutes left and one person left to get on the phone. But the reason I asked you to come and sit down here is give a little reason to people to keep stations and programs like this on air.
Well, I think that the level of discourse as seen through the mass media would indicate that the radio oasis that is exemplified by KPFT, and that were it not for voices like Politics Done Right and the litany of other great programs, you clicked off about 6 that you're fond of,
yes,
of course, and there are dozens more that I am as well. And the bottom line of it is simply that these are unexpressed voices, these are real voices, these are important voices, and without which you have an incomplete worldview. These are important voices that you need to add into your personal discourse, and we thank you for choosing KPFT.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. I tell you what, let's see what line 1 has to tell us right now.
Malik,
come on in.
Hey, it's just a quick note. It's a matter of perspective. The idea of voting for the lesser of two evils, I think that is completely pathetic. I respect your opinion and everybody else's opinion. This is not elected.
You're breaking up a bit, sir.
I just think that we wouldn't be in such a bad political situation, and we have corrupt politicians if we have not exercised the vote for the lesser of the two evils for so long.
I don't have a lot of time, but I want to respond to that, and I really, really want to respond to that because I hope you understood what I'm saying. I am telling us all that we have to work hard during primaries so that we actually get good choices. But after we have exhausted everything during the primaries, I said the reason I spoke about the better of two evils is specifically because of that. We have to then make a choice that is best for a fellow man. And I'm saying that doesn't stop us from working hard and continuing to work. We have to work. But when the time comes for that election, my friend, I think that is when we make the choice. I'm not discounting what you're saying at all. I just don't think what I said was pathetic in that regards. I really think
no.
Yeah.
I know pathetic is a very strong term, and please do
30
not
seconds.
take it as directed at your viewpoint or your comment. It's just I truly believe
Malik,
that
Shannon,
yes.
Thank you very much. I have to go. We're at the heart, and Shannon is kicking me off right now. So, folks, this is Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies. Here, Bradley came in and spent some time with us as well, the general manager. You guys have a wonderful day, and it's Politics Done Right. We're out. Stay tuned for the news.
Thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. You can personally reach me by sending an email to egberto@politicsdoneright.com. Remember, Egberto is spelled E-G-B-E-R-T-O. Change starts with you. 90.1 KPFT gives you information not tainted by corporate interest. Please visit kpft.org and contribute. Let's ensure continued access to real information and news remain available to all. Again, thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right.